So the timeline, I mean, this is well documented, I'm sure. As everyone knows, that last year I did join some of my colleagues and support the price model for the 13th high school redesign. I'm not going to get into the details and the rationale for the support, but the proposal ultimately failed on a 4-4 vote. Flash forward to right before Christmas break, where I was tipped off that some type of work was being done on the BOCS to draw up a resolution to provide funding for us to help build the 13th high school additional wing, wanting to stand up and speak for the constituents also in the East. I did get engaged in conversations and discussions and worked in collaboration to try to come out with some type of agreement before it was introduced. Now, to my dismay, when that was provided and the resolution was given, there was a little caveat that I was not aware of when I was talking and working on this, where the funding for the East would not come unless or until successful completion of the 13th high school. So given the perceived favoritism towards building the 13th and the fact that there are major equity issues in the East, I pushed back and said I could not support the resolution as it stands. I believe, as well documented in multiple newspapers, I said, don't make us build X to get the funding for Y. I believed, rightfully so at the time, that I thought there could be a definite trick or a catch with this, where in the past that there have been times with the BOCS where things have been provided and then funding ultimately disappeared, especially given the study conducted and provided by Ms. Jessie and Ms. Williams, given the overcrowded in the East. However, in my discussions before tonight with members of the BOCS, I said, if we can come to an agreement and collaborate on making sure that the funding was not tied upon the successful completion of the 13th high school, that it was given all upfront and appropriated, that I would be willing to work out and support such an agreement. Now, given the timeline, yes, right before the meeting, as Mr. Deutsch mentioned, a signed statement from the 5 members of the BOCS guaranteeing in what I would say is a compromise between both sides of this issue, providing the money up front for both the East and the West. I, at this time, cannot see any reason why, with meeting the restrictions and what I proposed as a sign of goodwill, they came back and they did it. They signed the statement. I know it's not the actual vote. It's not a resolution. But I would find it pretty hard for these 5 individuals to be able to run in any future election, especially considering one is running right now for governor who signed the statement, that the money would be revoked and taken away from us. So in summary, they met my demands and my offering of goodwill. I am willing to support this bipartisan agreement, take the $10 million for the Eastern schools. As mentioned, we have overcrowding in the East. We have land that we have not purchased for Cherry Hill Elementary. We need that land. We have renovations that need to be completed in the CIP. We need to provide those renovations. And again, I just want to point out, this is additional money. This is not money being taken from a budget already. Now, I know there's the fear that they're going to cut our budget, but at this point, I think we need to act in good faith and take the money and use it for the needs of our students in both the East and the West. I yield my time.